Right, the date is January 22nd, 2021. Time right now is 6:10 p.m. So I guess I'm going to talk about the incident that happened at Dollar Tree. Um, I'm recording this just so I can spread this information with other people and I don't have to keep repeating myself. And because I also want to file a thing with the Dollar Tree corporate or headquarters or whatever. I was advised to do so by police officers, anyways. So what happened was that I got off from the dental office, um, took the bus, got off the bus, went to the Dollar Tree. I approached the door, almost have my hand on the door. I see the manager there. I'm like, oh, hello, I see her there. She works hard. She's smoking outside yet again. She likes to, she often during her job shift would just step outside and smoke like a lot. Like a lot, a lot. I see her smoking out there very often. I'm sorry about the alerts from my phone. Anyways, so I try to go in and she's like, you're not going in there. She like has a very jovial face and I'm like laughing. I'm like, huh? I was just like, yeah, you're not going in there. And like, I almost have my hand on the door. I'm like, wait, are you serious? She's like, wait, she's like, yeah, I'm serious. You're not allowed in here. She's like, wait, what? Why not? And like, I'm just confused as all hell. She keeps going, you're not gonna be in here. And I'm like, wait, are you serious? I'm like, I'm confused. And she like starts yelling at me and starts being verbally abusive. Calling me retarded and stuff. Um, anyways, I can take, I can take that kind of name calling and all that stuff, but you are a manager at a Dollar Tree. That is very inappropriate for you to do. So anyways, she says I was caught shoplifting last month, and I'm very confused as to what she means by that. And I'm like, what do you mean shoplifting? I never shoplifted here. I don't shoplift. Like, it's a Dollar Tree. She's just like, well, I don't remember exactly what she said. I want to record this so I remember everything better, like fresher in my memory. But she was essentially like, a month ago I kicked you out, and she's like, she never kicked me out. Nobody kicked me out ever. That's why I'm here. Like, I'm so confused. She's like saying I kicked you out a month ago. Sorry. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she like starts yelling at me, and she goes inside, and I don't exactly remember how all the events unfolded, but like she's starting to call the police and all that stuff. So I'm like just kind of like yelling at her back. And I don't usually lose my temper, but she's accusing me of stealing. I've never stolen before ever. Like, I'm like, check the cameras, this and this and that. Where's your proof? She didn't approach me. No police. Where was the police report? She didn't file anything like that. So she's full of shit. She's like, you're trespassing even though I'm outside on public space. And once you're outside of the Dollar Tree, that's public space. Like, going inside the store is not public space. We'll touch on that later. It's considered public space, but we'll touch on that later. So like she's yelling at me, she's cussing at me and all this stuff, and then she goes inside, and I just kind of like call my mom and I told her about the situation. And then like I open the door and like she's yelling at me and I yell back at her and all that stuff. She's making a scene in front of these children, and I'm like, you're the one causing the scene. Where's the police? Call the police. I'm waiting on the police. Call the police. Get the police here, etc., etc. Then I'm waiting some more. Hasn't. I open up the door again. I'm like, okay, where's the police? Where's the police? Where's the police? Etc., etc. She hasn't. She's like shows me her phone like she's calling the police. I don't know if she actually is. I get tired of waiting. I call the non-emergency police. I explain the situation to them, and during I explain both sides of the story, or at least where I can see where she was coming from. Because when I go to stores, um, one second, we're gonna pause this real quick. All right, I'm back. Let's roll back a little bit, but I called the non-emergency police. I'm like asking, is anybody coming here? This is the situation. I explain like, she's saying, this and this and this and that. Um, and what I'm being told is that the place is, a public area. So, that's how it was explained to me. When I go shopping, I put stuff in my book bag, but I carry my bag in front of me and I keep the bag open, you know, because I don't trust using a lot of the shopping. I'll use shopping carts if I have to, or the little hand things if I have to. But especially at this Dollar Tree location, I know the day of it. I don't believe I saw a a little cart that you can carry by your hand, like a little basket, where they usually are. And even then, I wouldn't want to use them because they don't disinfect them, and we are in a pandemic. And I don't trust putting my hands on, the stuff that's not disinfected. I don't want to have to bring my own disinfectant to wipe down everything at a store because that should be, the store's responsibility. I've never seen them disinfect anything at all that people have been using. The only precaution I see them take is, wear a mask, but even then the manager doesn't wear the mask properly, and she constantly goes in and out to smoke cigarettes, even around customers, um, and all that stuff. Um, Anyways, so like I generally always like put stuff in my bag. Last month, one of the employees was like, well, hey, can you use a basket? And it's just like, okay. I'm like, why? And it's just like, oh, well, it looks kind of bad. It looks like you're stealing. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not stealing. I'm like, whatever. I mentioned this a while ago. I could probably find this in DMs, but yeah, it's the dollar store. I'm not gonna steal from the dollar store. Everything there is $1 or less. I have money in my account to buy things, and I constantly shop there, frequently shop there. I'm nice to everyone. I remember I got some tweezers that day, so like I can remember that, but I got some like I don't remember. But anyways, so like I remember that, and then I remember putting everything in the basket, empty out the whole bag, and then buy stuff, and then I use the can basket, but I wasn't told, get out of here, you're stealing. I wasn't kicked out or anything like that. I went to the guy and I purchased everything. So like, fast forward back to this part here. Oh, and again, real quick, from my understanding, it wasn't, I've done this at other stores. I do it all the time at other stores, and I'm told, it's not illegal or anything because it's not like I have an intent to steal. I'm not trying to go past the register and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, like it shouldn't be an issue. I don't believe I'm causing an issue. So fast forward to today. I go back in the store and I'm like, okay, then call the police. Like, if I'm standing right here, just call the police because this is a public place. Thinking that I was in the right, but I am in the wrong because I was told I was trespassing. She was incorrect telling me what the location of was when I was trespassing, but being in the store physically is that. But I go into the store. Then like I'm waiting there and I'm like, okay, call the police, call the police. Her daughter approaches me and she approaches me, and then her daughter starts physically threatening me and getting in my face while the manager's just like there, like, in between us, kind of. She's trying to, or not really in between us, but she's like there. But then the manager physically shoves me and then also tries to get in between us. After shoving me, like she physically put her hands on me. And people would consider that physical assault while I'm being threatened with physical violence from this young daughter, from her young daughter. Not young, she's I would say she's around like probably freshman college, that kind of age. Um, some other dudes like yelling at me, "Oh, that's a female, that's a lady," like that's men. Like, okay, bravo. Like, you know what a female is, I guess. I guess he just wanted to white knight and take her side, even though they're the ones that are, all up on me and all that stuff. I leave. I call the police during it. I give them the address. This is the Dollar Tree I'm at. This is what they're doing. Um, they shouldn't be physically us. They shouldn't have done that. I call the police. Eventually, like the police come a couple minutes later. We talk. I tell them my side of the story. I tell them the whole situation, and one of the officers said to me, well, if you put stuff in your bag, that's illegal, even though, like, that was like, oh, you're concealing or something like that. Even though I've done that multiple places, even though they're like, well, you're not gonna steal, but to them it looks like you're gonna steal. And the way he was basically telling me what I was doing was illegal, even if other stores have let me done it before and all that stuff. I don't really believe it because I feel like police officers are kind of on and off about explaining laws, or they don't know, understand things fully completely. I would have to look at Wisconsin law. I'm ignorant of that law. If I am in the wrong, then I admit that I have done that, and I would not do that. And again, the only reason why I don't use like those baskets is because stores do not disinfect them anymore. So yeah, I don't want to risk getting myself sick and my family sick just because I'm trying to buy stuff from the store. I usually come. I frequently shop there. I'm polite to people. People like know what I look like. Some of them know my name, etc., etc. Um, but like, yeah, it sounds like you guys were just being disorderly and all that stuff. She's not gonna get in trouble for. The manager's not gonna get in trouble for shoving me. The manager's daughter is not gonna get in trouble for threatening me with physical violence, and he was made it very aware. Well, like, they're females and you're a male. I'm like, okay, so that's just sexist. It's okay for them to do that to me, but you know, they can verbally harass me and verbally assault me and then put their hands on me, and that's okay because they're a female and I'm a male. I was in the wrong for trespassing, even though I didn't believe I was trespassing. She was in the wrong for instigating this entire thing. She never approached me about the situation. Last month, it's like the first time I heard I was kicked out of the store because I was never kicked out of the store. I wasn't told I was kicked out of the store. Um, so yeah, they explained that situation. Or they're like, well, we'll drop whatever she did and we'll drop whatever you did. You guys just go your way, separate ways. Call the Dollar Tree, headquarters and explain the situation, and then maybe you'll be able to go back into the store. Because, like, I'm still banned from the store that I never stole from, and I've done nothing wrong in. I've done nothing wrong at all except be a victim of someone's. Like, you could honestly, some people. I don't think she's being discriminatory, but I could see people argue that she was being discriminatory towards me, um, or that would be people's assumptions. But I feel like she just chose not to handle this situation appropriately in either regard. I chose not to. I did not respond appropriately, but it was because of what she did. I acted the way that she did, and she should not have, shoved me. I was not physically threatening anyone, and I was the one being physically threatened. Um, to be being threatened physically. One of those daughters that are like, oh, I'm not as scared. No, Popo, I'll beat your ass. I'll do this and this and that. Even though she's just hiding behind her mom, not doing shit. All those people that act tough. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to just record this and maybe pass it on to like some dude that works at Dollar Tree at the headquarters or whatever, and I would like to explain the situation to them on the phone as well. So yeah, I went home after that, and we'll see what happens. I'm physically okay. Um, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Oh, as a side note, before I end, I'd like to add that I've defended this lady multiple times from customers being rude and yelling at her. I don't know why she has chosen to treat me the way that she did today. I can kind of understand her side of the story, but she just chose not to. Oh, somebody messaged me. Um, she chose not to discuss the whole situation with me and come to a more reasonable conclusion and understanding. Um, but she's had issues where she just kind of watches and stalks people through the store. I do happen to notice that the persons that she tends to do that with, she'll like start smoking, but as soon as she sees um a black person, I don't know why I'm pussyfooting around like the wording of this. Every time she sees like a black person going to the store, she stops smoking and like kind of follows them around. And she kind of eyes black people like a lot. I kind of feel bad bringing this up, but at the same time, I think she usually has these kind of issues. I guess with people, the issues being like she just kind of stares at people down. And I remember one time vividly, she accused this one person of stealing when she didn't steal at all, saying you were putting this in your purse when she literally just picked up glasses, like those eyeglasses to try on. She was accusing this young black lady of such. So yeah, I wanted to add that in there just because I feel like it's fair to say I've had experiences with this lady in which I try to be friendly and caring and thoughtful. So I feel like her behavior was even more out there, but I also feel like I wouldn't be surprised because of the situation that she accuses people of stealing, because maybe she has a issue with people stealing a lot from the Dollar Tree, even though I wouldn't steal from a fucking Dollar Tree. But she does do so, and I do believe that she does um, stare at people that are black more often than those that are not. Um, yeah. And again, I've asked multiple times, just show me the proof or call the police or why didn't you file a report? So yeah.